Teach2Teach Radio. Teach2Teach Radio. Education for all, for all, for all. Education for all, for all.
Welcome to Teach2Teach Radio program. Today we're going to look at literacy skills development. With me to discuss this particular topic are
Idris Uhumu from Warwakuko Ahmadiyya Primary.
Ilyasu A. Sule, Kwendule EA Primary School.
Yakub Mohammed Awa, Vakwel Saul Primary School.
Tufilu Said, Vakwel Saul Zion Primary School.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
We'll start looking at literacy skill development in our schools. What we can do to improve literacy skills amongst our children. I hope you are prepared for it.
Yes.
Before you come in, actually,
Okay.
let's look at what we can do to encourage literacy skill development among our children.
Thank you very much. Literacy is the foundation for academic knowledge. That's not just learning to read, but to comprehend as well. And then also effective writing, which will end up leading to a shared knowledge, understanding, communication, and then also critical thinking. So I will entreat that parents, teachers, and caregivers will encourage reading of storybooks. Sometimes read the books with them, guide them as well.
Any other?
I think we can also encourage sounding new words. For instance, we should make our school walls literate. We should have drawings and then writings on the school walls.
Talking walls,
okay,
yeah, talking
that's
walls.
good. So that when children see it, they can pronounce it outright. I think this will promote literacy in our schools.
In our schools. Any other?
Also,
Yeah.
creating a classroom library for the students to be able to get the books that they like to read at a particular time, to enable them to acquire more knowledge on that books, and that will enhance their literacy skills or development.
Okay, what I would say is we are in the modern era where technology is used by almost everybody. And I will suggest that we use technology integration into our lessons. There are apps that children can use to learn. They play games on them, but they are learning unconsciously. For example, we have an app called Jollyphonics. With Jollyphonics, the children will learn a lot. The sounds of the letters, the way the letter is written, and the letters used in words, and even songs. The children will sing, and then they will be learning the sounds of the letters of the alphabet. And that helps them a lot in literacy skills development. For instance, we have a song like and some I am, and some I am, and some I am, they causing me alarm. So this you see, the children will be learning the letter sound That is it. So it will be developing them, Charlie.
For me, it seems I have a problem with this current technology, the technological learning of this our current students, because it looks as if some of them will deviate out of the lessons that you want them to learn inside the technological objects, because there are so many things inside the gadget, and they may download the app that you ask them to download. Unfortunately, they can also download different apps which is not helpful for them. So for me, I'm not fully support with the technology.
Yeah, you
for
could be right.
These modern children.
You could be right. But let me emphasize that even most of the apps you think they are not helpful, they still benefit from them. Have you seen?
Okay.
Because children like playing games, and most of the games, they are helping the children to learn. So I know you might be thinking of maybe they veering into pornographic pictures. This is the only thing we think. It doesn't help them.
That means you need to guide them.
So that is it. So we
Have
can allow them to
restrictions.
use the gadgets, but we should at least prescribe the kind of program they should watch on them.
I think you are right, because to me, the use of technology, I will in a way support Mr. Awal on restrictions to the use of the technology we are talking of. Because sometimes the children, they are found of so exploitative. They try to go into areas where you wouldn't even be around to guide them. So I think it is very, very wrong, because I can cite an instance in my school when I was teaching and children were passing on a phone, which they were having something they were watching. And then the class was noisy. I suddenly turned around to see what was really the matter. And I realized that they were passing phone on, which I didn't understand. Meanwhile, they had a password on the phone. When I seized the phone, I couldn't open it. So I refused to give up the phone and insisted that the parents should come before I will release the phone, or either give it to them on vacation day. So the senior brother came with the child after school, and then what we saw was very, very disturbing. So I think it is not good to emphasize the use of technology, even though guidance, as Mr. Said said.
Okay, let me come back here. Integration here, it doesn't necessarily mean allowing the children to be doing it, though they can also do it. But you, the teacher, during your teaching process, you can integrate it. For instance, in my class, though we don't have the necessary equipment, but I use my phone. I have the app on it, and then I connect it to MP3. Then I'll be showing it to them. They will be listening to the sounds. So I think we can do that.
Actually,
if at least we cannot get larger equipment, we can use the available materials we have to integrate it into our lesson.
Okay.
I think that's a very good discussion, and like you have suggested, we need to apply some guidance towards the usage of these technological, equipment.
Teach2Teach Radio, education for all, for all, for all.
Right. I was very much interested in the various approaches, what you do for children to be able to learn literacy skills development.
I think it is also very important to make the little books we have in our schools available to the children. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't keep them in our bookshelves and then say when they use it they will get old or they will be torn. I think it is better we make them available to the children to be reading.
And it's good for our listeners to hear this. Some schools, in fact, what you are saying is just real. It's practical. Some head teachers lock up these materials without giving them out. When you go, they still look fresh.
Yeah.
And it's not
I can cite an example. In our school, the day we told the students that we're going to give them books, they were very, very happy. And then when they went home, even those who didn't even come to school that day, they followed. So they came and then we gave them the books. The phone, and they were very, very happy. Good. And then you see them busily flipping through the pages of the books. So I think they are very excited when you give them books to be going.
Let's go to the homes of the children. What can our parents or our community members also do to ensure that we create that kind of literate environment for the children when they get home? Yes.
They can buy storybooks for them.
Yes, they buy
and also engage them in
storytelling
to read.
Okay, the parents can read with their children after school to guide them.
To add to what Sister has just said, even though there are few literates among the parents or the caregivers, they should pretend, especially depending on the level of the child, they should pretend as if they know what is inside. Because I take my own wife, for example, she will ask the P1, P2 children to be reading so that she will hear. When they get to a point and they cannot mention a word, the mother will you try, I will not teach you. Try and pronounce it. So when it becomes critical, the mother will say, wait for your father. So I think it is good. They should pretend as if they also know and tell them to read. The child will be reading and then you will be giving that child motivating words. I think it will encourage the children to read, because sometimes the child will come and say, oh, mother, let me read to your hearing. My teacher taught me this, my dad taught me this, let me read it to you. So it encourages children to learn at home.
What I'll add here is I will still go with the online resources. Have you seen that? Because this time the children are very curious. When they see your phone, you see that they want to view to see what is inside. I have a problem with my wife on this, because anytime I leave my phone, my child will pick it. Even where the child will get to, I myself, I may not be able to get there. But my wife, she feels that the child will spoil the phone. So anytime she picks it, she'll come and take it and then hide it. So I say, no, you allow them to go. They know these games that I'm talking of, the jolly phone, they know where it is. The child will pick it, and then before you realize, he will start playing that game. Even on other games, they have some app that they call Angela. Yes, anytime he's free, he will come and pick the phone. That I want to play Angela. And even television, you should watch television with your kids, so that when you are sitting together, you can be asking them questions. Okay. Or they may even be asking questions, so that you also be answering them. So through this, I think they can develop literacy skills.
Teach2Teach Radio, education for all, for all, for all.
Let's just throw more light on how we can help these children to create the habit of reading culture, both in school and at home, though we have already mentioned some of them. But children being who they are, it's good for us to outline those things that can help them be able to cultivate the habit of reading.
I think earlier on said to form reading clubs.
That's one.
Also create home library for the children. Good. And be guiding them through the reading and comprehension skills.
I think that maybe putting them in small groups can also help them, because some of them, they learn better when they are with their peers. They share ideas. Give them a task, then they will be discussing. So I think some of them are very free to maybe chat with their friends than to their teacher or their parents.
To add to that, I also think we can organize reading quizzes with rewards. I think the rewards will motivate them to be interested in reading. Since when it gets to a reading competition, he or she knows that if I'm able to perform well than my colleagues, I'll get this reward and stuff. So that will motivate them to be more interested in reading.
So the school can organize reading
competitions.
Likewise, the home. And
Yes.
the community members can also come together and then organize reading and quiz competitions, because what they will contribute will be the material rewards.
Okay.
I think when you organize it in school, you can even invite the community members to be around to see what is going on in the school.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can
in
invite
your
the
school, can we give
parents.
us examples of sectors that have happened in terms of encouraging children to read, or what you are putting in place to help them read? And at home?
In my school, for instance, my class people,
Mm-hmm.
every Friday when the week is about to end, we do have reading competition. So what I do is I always have prizes for them as a teacher. I just took it upon myself that this is what I want to be doing for my children, to improve their reading skills and listening as well.
In my school too, we
And
give
they are
out
so happy.
word cards and then sentence cards to children to go home and then study them. And when they come, you spelling competition. Sometimes we line the children up in a horseshoe formation. Then if somebody is able to spell a word, that person will move to the first position. The next person will follow. Somebody who is not able to spell will still be in that position, so that it will be going around like that till we finally come.
For my school,
choose the first person.
I always give them the library books on Fridays. When they go home, Saturday, Sunday, they will read. On Monday, early in the morning, I'll allow 5 people to stand in front of the class and read what they read at home for the whole class too. After that, I'll rank the best reader for the morning, and on Friday I'll repeat the same.
As a parent and as a teacher, one day my daughter came from school. In the morning, she didn't inform me the previous day that they gave them an exercise. So, but I rather asked her, if I read to you, can you write? She said, okay, let me try. And I said, okay, I'm going to dictate so that you write. So that is what I did. I read it out for her. she wrote it. Then I went through and then saw that yes, she was. So I made the necessary corrections.
Our time is up, and then unfortunately we can't extend it. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And goodbye.
Thank you too.
Teach2Teach Radio. Teach2Teach Radio. Education for all, for all, for all. Education for all, for all.
Hi, this is Wiyala. I support Teach2Teach because education changes lives, especially for girls. So let's take advantage of the positive impact education can have on our lives, our communities, and our people.
Teach2Teach is produced by Teach2Teach International in collaboration with the Center for Literacy and Vocational Studies, Ronin Africa, and Radio Savannah. You can find Teach2Teach International and Teach2Teach Radio on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.